Kyalami Equestrian Park is set to host October's South African Derby. The show jumping event is set to feature the top local riders, and one of them is Dominey Alexander, who joins us now for a chat. Dominey, a very good afternoon, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on air.
Dom, let's start maybe, I was just talking off air now with one of the producers as to what's the big difference? Is it show jumping or equestrian? Is there even a big difference?
No, equestrian is the umbrella name for it, for everything to do with horses. Equestrian is any sport to do with horses. So each discipline then has its title: show jumping, dressage, eventing, equitation, polo, racing, but it all falls under the one name umbrella, equestrian.
All right, fantastic. So tell us about the Derby that is happening on the 6th of October.
So the Toyota Derby comes around only once a year. It is, we have normal show jumping competitions throughout the whole year. And then now the Derby is a little bit specialized, or a lot specialized. It is a lot of stamina. The course is 1.5 kilometers long. It is up and down some banks and some rustic jumps, which we don't normally jump. Rustic being just plain brown poles and things like that. A big open water jump, which is, I think, 3 to 4 meters wide. We've got the very big Derby bank where the horses have to go to the top of the bank, slide down and jump off. It's about I'd say about a 3.5 meter or 4 meter bank that they slide down. So it's a test of endurance, courage, concentration for that length of time. It's a unique competition that only happens once a year at Kyalami Park.
You won the 2022 Derby. Do you fancy your chances this time around, Dom?
I hope so. My horse that I won on is in very good form, and she was third last year. And I'm hoping that I've improved her fitness more than last year. And the mistakes we made last year, I hope I can rectify and do a better job.
How then do you mentally prepare for such an event, Dom? And as you answer that, is it about the rider or about the horse or the relationship between the two?
It's most definitely the relationship between the two. The good thing about it is that the course that we have to jump is a set course. So we know exactly what's going to come. So we can practice every element of it at home in training and prepare the horse and, of course, the rider because it is different. When we do a normal show jumping competition, it's on flat ground. There's no up and down and things like that. So it is very much a different competition, but at least we get to practice it because it's a standardized course throughout every year.
So does it come down to that? Because I'm just thinking, how do you then manage the horse's emotions and preparedness for a course? And also your emotions leading into that as part of your preparation.
Well, that at that level, they've been competing at the top level for a while, and they're used to the crowd. This is the biggest crowd that we ever get. And I think it's between 2,000 and 3,000 people that come to watch. It really is amazing, and the atmosphere is electric. So a lot of the horses feed off that energy, and they try harder. I know my horse certainly does. She wants to try harder with the atmosphere. She loves that arena. And I think it must be very difficult on a horse that is not good in that much atmosphere.
And in terms of the Derby itself, beyond the big event on the final day, it's a 4-day festival. Just tell us about some of the events and what fans can expect throughout those 4 days of the festival.
Well, there's always there's a Derby and a qualifying classes for every height from 1 meter 20 all the way up to the major class, which is between 1 meter 50 and 1 meter 60. So there's a 120, 130, 135, 140 Derby. There will be arena displays. They like to keep it a little bit as a surprise. There'll be, it is Toyota, so there'll be cars on display. There's definitely always food stalls. There are children's playgrounds, things like that. There's always a lot of beer tent. So there's a lot for everybody. It caters for the whole family. It really is a family-filled, fun weekend.
Well, Dom, you don't look a day over 40, but you're 57. What keeps you going in this game, in this sport itself?
All the young people that I have to keep trying to beat. Yeah, we have to stay fit and strong. I work a lot with trainers, and Bevan Jeffries is my biokinetist. I work with him twice a week. I work with a stretch class with Andrea van Holt twice a week. I do a lot of outside of riding, but of course, you've got to be riding fit. I ride between 8 and 10 horses every day. So, you've got to stay fit and strong.
You speak about competing with youngsters. Do you find that there's more young people coming through, taking up the sport, and especially as a trainer yourself?
Yes, most definitely. Our sport is on the increase. The people coming through, the talent coming through. I coach now the latest current South African show jumping champion. He's 19 years old. And I mean, for him to beat all of us more experienced, older riders on the day was fantastic. So that just shows the depth of the talent coming through with all the young people.
And as a spectator sport, Dom, how's show jumping doing? Do you find that more people come through to Kyalami and some of the other areas when there's show jumping and maybe equestrian at all? Do you find that there's excitement around these events when they happen?
Yes, most definitely. We've been very fortunate, and this year and last year, we've had every major competition has been live streamed. So people throughout the world can click on and watch, the live streaming and social media, and that brings the world into such a smaller place. So there's so much now spectator value coming to watch major competitions. Of course, I think it's always better to go to the venue and feel the atmosphere. And at Derby, at the Toyota Derby, there will definitely be a lot of atmosphere.
Dom, you said, you are a young 57-year-old. How long have you been doing this?
My mother had a riding school when I was a young child, so I've been riding literally my whole life. I'm very lucky. I mean, I hear people when they talk about their jobs and how they hate their job or whatever. It's not a job for me. It's my passion. So every day I get up to do my passion, which I'm very lucky to be able to do.
You spoke about the course earlier on. I mean, what are some of the challenges that you expect on the day as far as the course is concerned? Or does it become easier now that you know what to expect, as you mentioned, that it's a set course?
You can prepare and be completely prepared for everything. But on the day, you need a great deal of luck. As a sportsman, we need a great deal of luck. We've got to wake up in the morning and feel that our horse is with us and completely relaxed and got no aches and pains. They've had to do 2 qualifying classes beforehand, so we don't want them to be tired. I think the difficulty on the course comes with the stamina and the strength aspect. Halfway around the course, which is very long, I think the mistakes come generally on the second half of the course because the horse and the rider are getting tired.
You did say earlier on that you'd love to win it again, having won it in 2022. But where do you think the big challenge will come from in terms of other riders and other horses on the day?
I think that the likes of Ronnie Healy, he won it last year. He has 2 very good horses that are in the main class. It's quite an open class because it means that every horse has had to qualify to get there. So they're all really good enough. You get your first timers, the first timers to be in the very big class, which will lack the experience they would have done the lower classes the years before, the previous years. But I think the horses with the best chance, I think, is Ronnie Healy. I would say definitely him.